Hello, my name is Randy Rolfe, and I'm an independent consultant with the Nikken company, sharing wellness to everybody who can attend this webinar. This is put together not by the company, but by us distributors, trying to share our personal stories and give you a good overview of Nikken. If you're just starting out, this will help you get your bearings in Nikken. And if you've been on a long time, you'll just hear a lot of great stories about how the products can work and be used. And there are just so many different ways. So I'm going to share a PowerPoint here that gives a good overview, and I'll share my story as we go along. So here we go. This is our showcase of a better way to a life in balance. And Nikken started over 40 years ago in Japan, the healthiest country in the world. And it's one of the leaders in pioneering wellness. And that's all about self-care, doing what you can do to support your body to try to minimize the signs of aging or chronic illness, and just trying to avoid those things ever getting hold of you. And so it's really all about personal care and trying to create the best wellness environment. I call the ultimate wellness environment in your home. And it's all about the compounding effect of the daily choices and habits that we choose to make each day, and it affects our whole quality of life. Those small choices consistently over time make a radical difference in your income, your health, your relationships, your happiness, and success. And let me just get rid of the panel so you can see more of the slide. There we go. And you can see from this graph, as your choices accumulate over time, you really change your life, whether you're really achieving your potential or you're behind the eight ball, depressed and not well. Nikken Choice involves active wellness and collaborative entrepreneurship. We're going to go through how we distribute our products first, and then talk about the wellness aspect, our amazing products. Nikken has a special definition of success. It's progressive realization of a worthy ideal, and our ideal is the pursuit of life balance and abundance in 5 pillars of health. And if you think about it, it pretty much covers everything: healthy body, healthy mind, healthy family, healthy society, and healthy finances. And I fell in love with this philosophy because I had given up high-powered legal practice at a big Philadelphia law firm where I could have gone on and made a huge amount of money, but the partners I saw, many of them were unhealthy. They didn't have time for their family. They were constantly in adversarial situation, which the law often is. And some of them were able to give to society, but didn't have time to give to society. So their lives were out of balance. It didn't look like a pattern I wanted to be on. So I became a family counselor, working from home, able to raise my children, but I was giving up the big finances. When my kids were grown, I wanted to find a way to continue having my freedom and have more money and continue to pursue my mission, which is to help build happier, healthier families around the world. And Nikken gave me that vehicle. So what's the biggest problem we face today? It's not the infections and problems that 100 years ago made people sick. It's stress. It's mainly stress. We're eating on the go. We don't get enough sleep. We're drinking poor water. We're snacking with refined carbohydrates, and we're worrying about our health bills, our family with chronic illness, and so on. And the finances is the #1 source of today's stress. And I know that from being a family counselor. I could only charge so much per hour because finances was the biggest stress on families. And this is a schemata from the cash flow quadrants developed by Robert Kiyosaki, saying how we try to meet our financial needs. And 95% of the population are either employees or self-employed. That means that we're selling time for money, and we have no leverage. We have to be there or the money doesn't come in. and we only control 5% of the wealth. So there's an imbalance there. The people that control 95% of the wealth in the United States are the people who get to leverage either their time or the work of others or their money, and that's only 5% of the population. So we keep hearing about the top 1% or 5% that control so much of the wealth. They invest their time and money in building businesses, and that's on the right side. So how do we get from the left side to the right side where we can leverage our time and money and work with others to build our financial freedom? Well, it's hard. If you try to buy a franchise like McDonald's, it can be more than $1 million. And if you want to be like Warren Buffett, you got to start with a couple of million to be able to build. So what people are getting into is the gig economy, where we're adding on temporary engagements or home-based businesses in addition to our current income, and able to leverage our time through these extra gig engagements. And millennials are really joining in with this economy because they see in their parents' generation the corporations aren't taking care of us anymore. Millennials are concerned about building that retirement and having some freedom. So the gig economy allows increased mobility. You can work from home. It's cost efficient. You just get paid for what you're contributing. And you can have more control over your time for life balance. The success of Uber has demonstrated what an amazing thing this is, that people are going for those gigs. And of course, Amazon growth proves that the internet has changed everything. And so many businesses are now online, and people just from their desktop are able to run a business. So what is the Nikken advantage? Well, that is an amazing many elements to it. First of all, very low cost of entry, $99 to join the Nikken group, and then get your own products to make you healthier and have more energy and sleep better, and easily integrate it into your life because you just tell people about your experience and ask them to be a customer or a partner with you. And it's a turnkey entrepreneurship system like McDonald's, but you don't have to start with $1 million. You can end up with $1 million, definitely. Leadership development plan is all there, and because it's really collaborative. We help each other. We're each in business for ourselves, but not by ourselves. So it's really the perfect gig. And what we do as entrepreneurs is we get our wellness home developed and then invite other people. And we get a little piece of all the action of people we introduce to Nikken. It's truly a wonderful system. So you join Nikken, you share and promote the products, invite people to join you. Nikken does all the heavy lifting that a corporation can do, the R&D, the inventory, the warehousing, the operations, the accounting, and they send you wonderful rebates, commissions, special leadership bonuses and incentives, and foreign trips. It's amazing. So what is the key to our success is the Nikken Wellness Home and technologies that create the right environment for your body to be functioning at its best. And that wellness home is like a cash flow engine, because when a customer gets started, they get whatever products they can get on automatic shipment for any consumables. They can continue to upgrade to the more durable products, and they can add family, cousins, colleagues who notice that they're feeling better and more cheerful and more healthy. And then Nikken is constantly innovating. So there's a constant flow of products to consistent customers. And then we have a purpose-driven business model with you in the center as with your wellness home, and get 5 customers that are building their wellness home, and 3 leaders who work with you to duplicate what you've done. They get their wellness home, they find their 5 customers, and they teach those their 3 leaders to duplicate once again. So we call it Teach 3 to Reach 3, and then they reach their 3. So we help each other by coaching and mentoring and meeting with prospects for customers or consultants. And this system, we call it silver, gold, platinum, and diamond. But at each level, you have multiple people helping you. Our royal diamonds are available by phone, and the silver that you're associated with will help everybody, helps everybody, because you all benefit. And this is a wonderful natural metaphor for what happens. Nobody knows how many apples one apple seed can be responsible for. If it's in the right place and it's nurtured properly, it can be responsible for thousands of trees and hundreds of thousands of apples. And we have people in Nikken who are touching hundreds and thousands of lives. And this is an amazing diagram, the simple cone with you at the top in your organization, and your 3 leaders, sponsor 3 leaders, and each of them have 5 customers, and that brings you your commission and rebate and override checks. So you get to move by helping others. It's a beautiful, beautiful system. You meet your needs by helping others meet theirs. So it helps the people, the planet, and brings profits to you. And this is a schematic of all the different ways that Nikken rewards us. We can go into that in more detail one-on-one. And so now we're going to move on to what that wellness home consists of. Again, it's daily choices that we make. Do we sleep well? Do we drink good water? Do we keep ourselves energized in a good environment? And our health challenges today are way worse than they were 20 years ago when I started Nikken. Stress levels are off the charts, and we know that stress impacts all the chronic illnesses that are affecting us, and it's disturbing our sleep. Half of our population say they don't sleep all that well, and we know that the immune system drops 60% in the first 4 nights' sleep. So it's very easy to catch colds and flus and get allergies and stuff if you're not sleeping well. And then air and water pollution is in the news almost every day. And we know that the air indoors can be way worse than outdoors now, because so many chemicals are used in cleaning and preparing products for our beds, our curtains, our floors, and so on. And then the water is constantly, we're finding other things in the water. The newest thing is all the microplastics that are in our water. So you actually need to filter your water from them, as well as from medications from people that live upstream and so on. It's truly an assault on our body, and it's called the toxic body burden. We want to minimize that. And the people who suffer the most are the children. We know that children aren't eating well, they're not exercising as well as they could, and they have obesity rates of over 1/3, which is frightening, because that's going to limit the quality of their life, what they can do, climbing trees or jumping fences or whatever. And of course, low-income families have it the worst. And we need to change that. It's unacceptable for the most developed country in the world and the richest. So we choose to be healthy by choice, not by chance. And it's a self-care revolution that Nikken is really leading. So we look back at the 5 pillars of health, and the wellness house, the wellness home, works with our bodies. And Nikken is constantly doing research in everything to support that wellness home. And it's all based on energy medicine, but it's non-medical. It's just replicating nature with scientific technologies. So we have a number of over 100 products, but we put them basically in a couple of categories: the nutrition and skincare, environment, and rest and relaxation. And we have simple packs to get you started. For the environment, all the things that are in that picture are in our water pack, which gives you a 10% discount. And it gives you the standalone water flow system that is the finest filter out there. It also alkalizes and microstructures and mineralizes the water. So you're getting water that does all the things to your tap water that nature does to give you pure, alkaline, mineralized, properly magnetized water. It's truly amazing. And then the water bottle does the same thing. And we have a little newer top that's even easier to use than the one in the picture. And then we have a shower filter that also gives you the special Pi Mag water. And then in the nutritional categories, we have an amazing line of nutritionals. Nikken's at the cutting edge. I'm a certified nutritionist, so I know how good these things are. They are cutting edge in the marketplace and formulated to work with the body, not to manipulate it, but to work with it as nature intended. And then skincare that's as natural as you can get it. Truly amazing. And then our rest and relaxation is really this signature core line of products, and Nikken has two amazing start packs for that. One is the sleep system that has that mattress topper that's folded up there on the seat with the comforter and with the pillow, all natural materials, and it cocoons you as nature intended, with the magnetic energy of the earth below you and the solar bioenergy in the comforter, and the pillow does both. And you don't toss and turn. You wake up refreshed. You just feel better all day if you sleep in that sleep system. And then we have a day pack, an energy pack, that has the smaller things, the insoles and the little massage tool there, and one of our newest technologies, the pulsed magnetic field device that can take the stress out of any tissue quite quickly. It's quite extraordinary. So get with the person that invited you to this webinar and ask them about those packs, because it's a great way to get your wellness home started. So I'm going to now stop the share and go back with the people that we have on board today. And in the last 10 minutes or so, we'll share our stories. I know for myself, I had no complaints. I had been teaching nutrition since the early 80s and actually the late 70s. And I just did everything I knew to support natural health. So my family was very healthy. We slept well. We had good vacations. But I embraced Nikken because this was a whole nother dimension of wellness, was to be in a good energy field. And now it's even worse because we have the cell towers and we're carrying cell phones on our bodies, and everybody has a microwave except me. I don't want that thing in my house. What we discovered as a family was that we were more energetic when we woke up in the morning, and we didn't get tired in the afternoon, and our digestion worked better, even if we digressed from our natural food diet for a day or two. And then when we had an injury, everything recovered so much more quickly. A sore knee or a hurt elbow or a bad shoulder, everything recovers quicker because nature intends you to be in good field to work best. So it really, I just expected it to just support our long-term health. But every day we noticed new things. Even my teenagers were like, wow, this is different. I wake up full of energy instead of like, hey, can I go back to sleep? Makes a huge difference. And you don't know how good you can feel until you're using Nikken products. So let me bring up some of our other participants here and ask you if you'd like to share what's your experience. And I can unmute you, or you can unmute yourself if you want to share. Jay or Hattiejane, I see your faces. Would you like to share any of your Nikken excitement?
Well, recently I just had my shoulder operated on. I had 3 tears and a whole bunch of bone spurs. They had to reattach a tendon. That's pretty uh, evasive surgery, um, because I've been using immunity and all of the nutritionals that we've been using, plus the sleep system. Uh, Monday was pretty rough because I didn't even have feeling in my arm for 24 hours. But as soon as I got feeling back, and I applied the magnetic systems, energy medicine, it's made a huge difference. I actually have probably 40% movement in my arm, and it's only been since Monday. Actually only 2.5 days since the actual surgery, that I shouldn't even have the ability to move my arm. I friends in the area where we live have had shoulder surgery. They went weeks before they could actually even move their arm, even a quarter of what I'm doing. So I know that the technology is way beyond even doctors. Uh, my doctor said, "Oh, you'll be out for 6 weeks." I'm going and thinking to myself, not likely.
That's great, Jay. Thank you for sharing that. It's amazing what you can do, and many doctors are surprised how fast we do recover from an injury or surgery with our Nikken products. And it's a shame more of them don't catch on sooner and spread the word. But now you are a science teacher, right? So what's your feeling about Nikken's technological wonders?
Well, I have to laugh about that. I was teaching last year, and into last year, I was in a teaching 7th and 8th graders science classes, and I did not. I knew the moment I was going into the class, I said, "There's no way I'm going to let them leave the room just to go get a drink of water." The water I knew was absolutely horrible, and so I brought a water unit in, and I put it in the class, and they would come up and say, "Hey, oh, I need to go get a drink of water." I says, "There it is, right there." But I had it on the counter. Everybody could walk up anytime during the class, during lecture, whatever. If they wanted to get a drink of water, they could do it. And over a 12-week period, the kids that had the hardest time focusing on doing studies actually were more focused. Their test scores increased, and this was over only a 12-week period. I had some students I had one student, she was almost literally sick the whole time I was teaching there. So the last 2 weeks of class, I said, "Look, I don't care if you have to walk in the middle of my class, fill your water bottle, and then leave. I don't care. Just do it." So she did. Before the end of school year, she was well. She wasn't sick like she'd been. She hadn't been able to hardly eat one meal a day. She was eating regular meals. So this was only less than 2 week period, and what's sad to say is that as you leave school, you take everything home. You don't leave it at school, unfortunately, because they tend to go through and just pack it away and you don't ever see it. And so I took my water unit home and I was going to loan it to some friends, and I looked in there and it was black and literally just, I don't know what it was. I started cleaning, it turned out to be rust that had been in the water in the top of the unit. And I literally had to use a steel wool to get rid of the rust that had embedded itself into the plastic. But the point was, it kept those that were drinking the water from getting those contaminants in their system. So I know that our water is way beyond anyone else. And I had kids going, "This is really good." And our friends that I loaned our one unit to, they said, "Oh, this is the sweetest water I've ever tasted." I said, "There's no sugar in it."
That's great. Yeah, it's so wonderful when kids respond, and thank you for sharing those stories about helping the kids just drink good water can make that much difference. There's just so many pollutants, and when it tastes good, they drink it too. A lot of kids just don't drink water because they know it tastes awful, and this they like. So thank you for sharing that. That's great. Appreciate it, Jay. Hattiejane, would you like to share? Got to unmute you.
Let's see if I can get the get the right button pushed. Thank you. My personal experience is just recently. I tried a new nutritional combination of bistrol and calcium and the bone osteoidents and lactoferrin, and it was like a light switch. Suddenly, I didn't have to go run for the adult diapers. It was wonderful. I don't know how long it's gone, how well it does. I have to tweak it a little bit, but it is amazing what our products do, and I didn't expect it to do anything. I was taking it because the Digistrol came in capsules now, so I could, and added it to my program, so for my general health. And that lovely addition is just delightful. It truly is.
That's so cool. So we find that the only side effects we have with Nikken are all good, and that's what you're describing. Does your cat have any testimonies?
She's wearing a necklace around her neck for the last couple of months, and prior to having it on, she's had some allergenic responses, and originally she didn't have any hair on her tummy nor up the back of her head now, and so now all of her hair has grown back. She and one of the kitties still arguing with each other, but she's much more relaxed and able to deal with life, and her hair has grown back, so it is wonderful.
Yeah, our animals, they're happier and
more calmer,
better coats. Yes, and I love talking about the animals because we know that, they're not watching the webinars or being convinced by great videos or brochures. They just react the way nature intends. So thanks for sharing. Your cat was poking her head in. I thought she had something to say. So thanks for sharing, Jay and Hattiejane. I'm going to go back to the slides just to finish up here. So let's begin your new success story. Look for active wellness, living life in balance of all 5 pillars of health, and become a customer. Start with the products. Get one of these wonderful packs for either your daily energy, your sleep, or your water. And then start trying out our nutritionals. And if you want to share it with others, Nikken will give you that gig, that entrepreneurial opportunity, and you can make a full-time career if you really build an organization that helps distribute these amazing products for Nikken. So thank you for joining our webinar here, and somebody's making some noise there. There we go. And get back with the whatever distributor who suggested this webinar. And thank you, Jay and Hattiejane, for sharing your stories. I know you have more, but we have limited time here. And have a great week.